a podcast by respiratory leaders for respiratory leaders. This is RT Sidebar. Stay tuned.
All right, barflies. I am still in New Jersey. It's just too nice here. Have this what these they like there's they like New Jersey. They do really well. I have Mindy here, but first off, Joe Army would kill me. He's my boss. Literally kill me if I leave the state seeing Joel Brown and not get him on camera. So, ladies and gentlemen, Joel Brown.
Hello.
Joel Brown.
Hello.
Welcome to Jersey.
We'll add all the applause on the editing.
Yeah.
So Mindy, you and I know Joe for a long time.
Yeah.
Time to poke and prod. So
Joel.
Yes.
Tell me your story.
Oh my.
I know you're a respiratory extraordinaire. You do lots of talking around the United States, promoting leadership, professional leadership. Tell me your story.
I mean, right now, so my role is I'm the CEO of my own business. So I have an executive coaching and consulting firm. So I primarily focus on leadership development, but obviously background as a respiratory therapist. And I believe that my respiratory path is what led to every other stop along the way that I've made. And one of the things I always talk about is when someone says, when you took your first leadership role, where did you learn the most? And I always go, when I was a charge therapist.
Oh, yeah. I
Everything that you need to know in leadership, you learn as a charge therapist.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that from there led to me to where I'm at now.
So tell us about that.
Yeah.
Like what about it? Like we got lots of barflies. They love being charged. Like nobody likes to be a charge therapist. Let's just be honest. Like,
a lot of work.
but what skills? Tell us a story about the skills you learned to get there.
So when I started as a respiratory therapist, I was made charge therapist 6 months after that.
Oh, 6 months.
Yeah. And you know how that is. It was
Good
one of those things. Now I'm going to
Good
age
times.
myself, but we had pagers back then. And it was one of those things that the pager was left there and there was no one else to grab it but me. And so I grabbed it and I got a whole 25 cents an hour extra
Oh, wow.
for being charged. I
Good
learned
that.
really quick. Number one, you learn when to help somebody, when to teach someone,
Mhm.
and when to absolutely delegate, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Which is important in leadership. Number one. Number two, you learn how to absolutely do some customer service. Because when there's patients, I worked in peds, mom's not happy, call your boss. Boss ain't really there, but they call the charge therapist. So I went in, learned how to do some customer service.
Mhm.
The other part is you learn how to multitask.
Oh, yeah.
Because, as a charge therapist out there, you guys know that you never have just the charge pager. You have a full assignment
Mhm.
plus charge. So you start learning how to multitask, figure out what things need to be done first, second, third. And there are like some main lessons that really go on into leadership, but the ones that people struggle with the most.
Oh, yeah. I understand that completely. When I was charged, wow, you learned so much so fast.
Yeah.
Prioritize. You got to prioritize, help those who need help first.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Do you have a charge horror story?
Oh, absolutely. I have several. Which one? What direction would you like to go? Actually, I'll tell a funny one first.
Okay, perfect.
So I was in charge. I also used to be a research therapist, and we had like a makeshift research lab that was an animal lab that was in the bottom of the old hospital in the basement. And we needed to do some take care of a pig. We were doing some pig studies for ARDS, pediatric ARDS. And we did not have a WAG gas, which is, where your exhaled anesthetics go. So they called charge, and I was charged, and I said, how big is this room? And I did some quick math. I remembered like how to, the dissipation kind of. And so I took a large corrugated tube and hooked it out the door and hooked a Paul filter so it looked like we were doing something. And we kept it moving and we finished that study. Would not recommend that to anyone, but it is just your ability to adapt and adjust.
Make it till you make
Fake
it.
it till you make it. The other thing, actually, on a fake it till you make it, 6 months in, charge therapists get called for one of the sickest kids in the PICU. And they're like, hey, we have this kid. They're super sick. They're on nitric. They're on this, and they're on a jet. I was 6 months out of school. I did not spend a lot of time working on a jet.
Mhm.
And I ran into the department, ripped out my manual that I had from when I did my orientation, put it together in a department, wiped the sweat off my brow, ran out there, put it together, kid survived. It was running well. And then I went back to the room and almost passed out. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So it was definitely, that was back in the day, the orientation process wasn't great. But if you were willing to raise your hand, you could move quick. But I also believe that because I raised my hand and I was willing to persevere through that, it got me promoted pretty quick
Oh yeah.
because I was doing it on a regular basis. I eventually got good at it. And then that translated into the other roles. Yeah. But don't do wag gas through a corrugated tubing into the hallway.
Yeah, no,
That's bad.
No,
Never know.
I literally would have done the same thing because I'd be like, I think Egan's had a calculation. I don't know.
It's something like
Just put corrugated tubing coming out the
Yeah.
door. Like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So being a charge therapist led you into leadership.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now?
Yeah. So now my role now is that I teach and actually I'm the sounding board for other CEOs and other leaders.
Mhm.
So I have several of my clients. So I have clients and they meet with me every other week for an hour. And then they actually can call me in the moment when they need me. And so what I do is I help them deal with like staffing issues. I help them run through their business idea. I help them prep before they speak to board members. Some of them just have personal development things. Like I want to be better at communicating. I want to be able to give feedback. I want to be able to like prioritize. And so I help them using tools that I learned because I am certified executive coach, but also tools that I've learned from my career because I've done pretty much almost every role with except
Mhm.
working in PFT from the respiratory standpoint.
Mhm.
But I'm able to translate and transition those skills to executive leaders. And then I have some respiratory directors also. Yeah.
I tell you, this is a big change since the first time we talked back in Ocean City in
Yeah.
September of 2023.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember Joel and I talked for the first time. We did
Mhm.
this kind of like podcast scenario to kind of introduce what the APRT was in his
Yeah.
talk, right? I said the word brain fart. Like my brain totally blacked out. I was like, oh my gosh. And he's like, later on, he's like, Mindy, you'll be okay. You just have imposter syndrome. You'll be fine. I thank you for that
Yeah.
because I think that you did see something in me. And I feel learning from you, I have learned to become a pretty good speaker, I think.
You're a great speaker.
You're a great speaker.
And I've done a lot of that over the last year. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your leadership, your vision for the profession and your own, company.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Just I guess for the audience at home,
Mhm.
imposter syndrome is a thing, right?
Tell us about it.
So imposter syndrome is when people don't believe that they should be where they are. I've found it in what I teach my clients. Imposter syndrome comes when you are comparing yourself to others. If you're truly being you, how are you an imposter? How can you be an imposter of yourself? Usually when people say, I should be, I could be, it's because you see someone else doing it and you think you should be where they are. The good thing about you is who else is at APRT?
Well, it was just me, but now we have another.
Yeah.
But
So
Daniel, shout out Daniel.
yeah,
Yeah,
shout him
and-
out. But what I'm saying is like usually when you start only comparing yourself to yourself, the imposter syndrome goes away. I think the key is I call it progress over perfection. You should strive to be better every day. And as long as you're better every day, you're not an imposter.
right.
You are exactly who they put in that role, who they want in that space, who they ask to come speak.
Yeah.
Regardless of a brain fart.
But let me tell you,
Yeah.
Joel Brown is my hero.
Oh
'Cause
gosh.
he has definitely taught me a lot over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So
We just had a podcast with Mandy DeVries, and we were talking about getting the people around you,
Yeah.
people around you to build you up. Like literally, that's your job,
mhm.
Absolutely.
and I think that is beautiful.
I-
I've had a leadership coach. It helped tremendously to just remember to be me.
Yeah.
I don't need to compare myself. And I think that's a big deal. When your personal journey to grow, it's your personal journey. It's
Yeah.
not somebody else's journey.
Exactly.
And you don't need to follow that journey.
I've spent my entire career loving everything I do. Actually, our company's called Arrive Leadership is because I believe you arrive when you're doing what you love. And you only will do what you love.
Right.
Right. And so I love it. I love what I do. I love spending time with folks. I love seeing people do well. And I know what I love even more when no one else knows that I had any part in it. So like my clients, I don't, if you ever see, you never see me advertise for my business. I will talk about my leadership moments, all that stuff. Most of my stuff's like word of mouth. And I don't go, hey, you see that person there because I did blah, blah, blah. I love being in the background and seeing people do well. And
Oh
when
my
you
God.
really, really love what you do, it don't feel like work. It don't feel like work at all.
Yeah, you're so genuine. I mean, it's like a piece of presence when you're around. You make me feel so comfortable, and I'm sure Matt feels the same way.
I couldn't say it any better.
Yeah.
Joel, you've been an inspiration to a lot of respiratory therapists, including myself. I know, including Mindy. First and foremost, thank you. Like you've always, your personal journey was about building others, and everybody knows it. So thank you for all that you've done. We really do appreciate that. So what's next in Joel Brown's life?
Thanks for me. I love that. So right now, it's like we're scaling what I do, making sure that I still love it, right? Because I don't want to be at a place where I'm working 1,000 hours a week, but I'm definitely keeping myself busy.
There you go.
And staying focused, right? Because there's always that temptation to do the thing that you don't love for money, right? And so being aware of why I'm here and be aware that I believe that your success comes from when you really love something, people see it and they're attracted to it. And as soon as you go the other direction, they notice it, right? So my key is to stay focused there. And then after that, I will actually put on a drum roll next semester, I'll be doing some adjunct professor work. I'm going to be teaching a master's level class on management and in clinical operations and operations for healthcare. So I'm looking forward to that. And my key is just find good people, help good people, be good people.
I love that.
Yeah,
I do too. It's great.
And I think that's that's what we should all drive to be.
Yeah.
Humanize,
Yes.
make it personal, be happy.
Yeah.
If you're not happy, change it. It's that simple. Just change it. So Joel, thank you so much. Joe Army can't fire me now. I appreciate it. I absolutely will. So Joel, I definitely need you back on. Mindy and I will do something. We'll figure out another great topic that we could talk, because this is just a little bite-sized piece of Joel Brown.
Yeah.
Just a little bite-sized. So we're super excited to have you. Mindy, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I'm starstruck.
No,
I am too.
I get around Joel Brown and I'm like, my brain just go poof. No, but seriously, I appreciate everything that you do on a human level for the respiratory profession and for the rest of the world, because you really, truly are amazing.
I'm back at you. And you guys don't know this. We're coming in the elevator and I'm with my wife. Mindy walks up and you notice all I had to do is say, "That's Mindy." My wife knew exactly who I was talking about because I talk about her often. So she's a superstar.
So awesome.
Happy anniversary.
Yes. Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Just thank you for everything.
Yeah.
You have a shout out? Anybody you want to shout out?
And shout out to my wife. Right.
Yeah,
So I want to shout out to
absolutely.
my wife who helps me with my speaking engagements, all that stuff. She's the managing partner for my business. My wife is a retired CFO for a large pharmaceutical company, and she sees, I guess, my vision and kind of enjoys it with me. And that's just something that's rare to happen.
Yeah.
So big shout out to my wife, and shout out to you guys for what you do.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for your I watch your podcast often, and I'm a big fan
Yeah,
of
we
hers
just-
too.
we're
So
just
we're
all-
all big
We're
fans.
all Mindy groupies.
Yeah.
That's
So
what we are.
shout out to you guys for doing this stuff and
Thank you.
continue to spread the good word.
Yes.
Thank you. Shout out. I
guess
think
I
you got a
gotta-
shout out right there.
I got to give a shout out to my husband, Jason.
There you go, Jason.
So we came to New Jersey today for the conference, but it's also our 25th wedding anniversary.
Oh.
So he traveled with me, and so we're here in Jersey and enjoying October 16th.
And
Yeah.
he gets to watch you nerd out respiratory wise. That's
yeah.
awesome.
But he did get a gamble. He did gamble.
Yeah.
There you go.
So if he won, I don't know, but I doubt it.
I told him earlier. I said there should be a podcast on RT husbands and wives.
You
It
know
could
what?
be a good one of those like reality shows.
That's a good, hey, there's a podcast for us.
That's a good one.
There you go.
Putting up with respiratory nerds.
Yes.
Yes, I love it.
There you go.
He actually said
Next
he needed
episode.
to go lecture with me.
Yes.
So he was like, I don't know what this was, but okay.
Next episode.
That's a great episode.
Yeah.
So for all the barflies out there, Joel Brown, Mindy Conklin, coming from Jersey. We're here in Jersey.
In
We're in
Jersey.
Jersey. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for the next episode. Anna, roll the credits.
Vapotherm does not practice medicine or provide medical services or advice. Any clinical recommendations provided herein are solely those of the speaker. Practitioners should refer to the full indications for use and operating instructions of any products referenced before use. Pavlichko and Hayes are employees of Vapotherm. Butler is a paid consultant, and our guest is not compensated.